Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 The Howl. Here it is, the draft video for the Utah Mammoth. Who should they pick at 4th overall? We are assuming they're not going to trade their 4th pick to drop or go up in this video. And we are also going to assume that Schaefer and Misa will go 1 and 2. So that leaves these prospects that I have chosen. Obviously, it could be a totally different player, but I believe these are the players most likely Bill Armstrong and the Mammoth will choose on draft day at 4th overall. We'll start with Porter Martone, or Martone, as we pronounce Carcone. Michael Carcone, who has now left Utah. But this is my favorite prospect. There's some competition between who my favorite is, but Martone was the first guy I looked at and did research on, and then I fell in love with him, so maybe there's some bias there. But he is the captain in the Ontario Hockey League, the Brampton Steelheads. He had 98 points in 57 games played and was up from 71 points in 60 games played. He's a 6'3", 208-pound winger. And if you're a fan of Utah, you're a fan of Bill Armstrong, he is a size king. It's all about size with Bill Armstrong. He has hammered continuously. He wants to get bigger up front. And luckily in the top, 5, 6, 7 spots of this draft, there are a lot of good wingers and especially good centermen. So for me, for Utah, they need that scoring dynamic winger and they need to beef up in the center position as well. Whether they do different avenues for each one, draft, free agency, or a trade. That's why it's good to have a lot of centermen and a forward here, a winger as well. Martone is physical, direct. He goes north-south. He goes to the net. He's a battler. He's a gamer as well. He'll do whatever it takes to win a game. He's got good playmaking skills as well. And he's got leadership skills for such a young guy, 17, 18 years old, to be a captain on a team in juniors. Pretty unheard of. He's a winner, even though they haven't won actually a championship. Like I said, he loves to win and will do whatever it takes to win. He's a big winger, power forward type player like we saw with Iginla and Baudouin last draft. He's got smooth puck skills. He goes to the net. And he's competitive. He's got a good work ethic and he's hard on the forecheck. Some comparables to Martone would be like McKinnon or Tkachuk. You can choose whichever brother of Tkachuk you want. Some negatives, his skating speed and his shot selection just needs to be a little bit better. But he is projected to go in the top 5 for sure. And so that's your big body, size, who can score, make plays type of player that Bill Armstrong has always been looking for to build his teams. Then we go to Anton Frondell in the Swedish league, a centerman, 6 feet tall, 196 pounds. This is a cerebral, high IQ, two-way center. Think about Landeskog or Barkov or most recently a Leo Carlson type player. He's got a high IQ, cerebral, two-way center. He's got a powerful shot. He's got a great one-timer as well. So imagine having a Gunther one-timer to defend and then you get an Anton Frondell one-timer to defend on the power play. He's a good playmaker as well. He's well-rounded and some, negatives to him, his acceleration, especially those first steps. A lot of scouts harped on him and said he needs to work on that. His injuries, he was battling with injuries throughout this whole season. It took him out of the World Junior Championship for Team Sweden, which is why his draft stock plummeted. And so, there's some concern with injuries there for Frondell, but he had 25 points in 29 games played and 15 points in his last 10 games played to close out the season. Only 29 games played, so a small sample size for his draft here, whereas you look at Martone, who had 57 games played, and even last year he had 60 games played. So good stuff from Frondell. Then we go to James Hagens, centerman, small stouted centerman, 5'11", 176 pounds, plays in the NCAA for Boston College. This is your Logan Cooley type player and a sort of Nico Hischier, maybe a bit better defensively than Cooley, but shares all the same skill sets as Logan Cooley. Great skating speed, elite playmaker, great creativity, great puck control as well. Some negatives, his size, He's not as physical, which is only a negative when you're a fan of a Bill Armstrong team. If you're a team looking for skill, creativity, playmaking, then size and physicality isn't really a negative for you. And then he kind of forces play sometimes. He tries to go one-on-one, beats defenders, maybe makes a little bit of forced decisions there. And his scoring touch could be a little bit better. He had 37 points in 37 games played in college. So that's a point per game in his first year as college for such a young player as well. That's great stuff to see. He pushes the pace and he's good at back checking and being a good two-way player, just not as good as someone like Anton Frondel. Then we go to Caleb Desnoyers, no idea how to pronounce this. 6'2", 172 pounds, plays in the Quebec Maritime Junior Hockey League with the Moncton team. And as Utah fans, our very own Gabe Smith, who's been a bright spot prospect, another big centerman. He also plays on the same team as Caleb Desnoyers. And his point totals for this guy, Caleb, 84 points in 56 games played. But in the playoffs, he has 24 points in 13 games played, and they're playing in the final for that Quebec title along with Gabe Smith. Some comparables to Caleb over here: Couturier, Sean Couturier, and Mark Stone. Centerman, high, really high offensive IQ. He seems to be at his best in the offensive zone. He's an elite skater, another playmaker, but he has that compete and forecheck like Martone. So maybe a little bit more high offensive skill and creativity than Martone, and got that playmaking ability, but he competes, he wants to win, he's a battler as well. There's always a negative connotation with the Quebec League. You don't see high draft picks picking from Quebec recently. I think the last high draft pick was Lafreniere. There's a two-player. Laferriere plays in LA. Lafreniere, obviously, with the New York Rangers. I think he was the last high Quebec draft pick. So there's always that negative connotation with Quebec. He's 6'2", but only 172 pounds. So even though he's got the height, he doesn't have the weight to build out that frame just yet. Some negatives: he's a complimentary player. A lot of scouts have said he doesn't really drive his line, but he makes everyone around him better by going after pucks in the dirty areas, retrieving pucks, and making great plays, and using his size to protect the puck and find his teammates. His shot is still developing. It's not a top arsenal for him, and they're projecting him to be a second-line center. But, when I'm reading scouts about this guy, you could just read that their analysis dripping with the fact that they just don't like picking players in the top draft from the queue. So he could very well be a first-line center, but they always try to knock guys down who come out of the Quebec League. Then we go to Roger McQueen, a mammoth of a man, 6'5", 197 pounds, plays in the Western Hockey League in Brandon, Manitoba. Like Caleb before him, he's got the height, but not the weight. I mean, he has the same weight as Anton Frondel, even though he's 5 inches taller than him, 6'5". Humongous type of player. This is a prototypical Bill Armstrong player as well. We'll get to Maturka next, but he's tenacious on the puck, competitive. He's got the size, the skill, the skating to go with this big frame of his. His puck movement is great as well. He had 20 points in 17 games played, only playing 17 games played because he had a spinal stress fracture, which was a huge injury, which pretty much plummeted his draft stock. A lot of scouts are worried. They say it's sort of like a Hail Mary pick. It's a high risk pick. With this type of injury, it's like a 3-month recovery timeline minimum. And if you had it once already, probably it happens again. So a lot of red flags here with injuries. I wonder if, because Utah and Bill Armstrong are in a great position, they don't really need this pick. They're in great position. Winning this pick was just gravy on top of an already built great foundation and structure. So maybe a team like the Mammoth could take that risk player who had a very bad injury and just blow everyone away and get a very unique type of player. He's a very high energy player, has a great net front presence as well. Because some comparables are Malkin and Kirby Doc when he was selected by the Blackhawks. And then we go to the sixth player who I just added him on the board last minute because I had some space. I really don't think they're going to go after another towering defenseman. They got Simashev, Lamoureux, Zuber, Lavoie, Scahan, Goldsmith. These guys stand at 6'3", 6'4", and even taller. To me, like Bill Armstrong and his scouting staff, they know how to scout tall defensemen, so which is why I put him on the board. If they're looking at him, looking at his highlights, he plays in the Western Hockey League for the Seattle Thunderbirds, and they compare what they saw with Simashev and Lamoureux and the other guys I mentioned. If they see like, hey, this guy's actually better than when we scouted these guys, like this is the one. This is the one towering defenseman that we've been looking for. He's even better than Simashev. Like that could be a possibility, which means they might go and draft him and then trade one of their other towering defensemen who's maybe not developing as well and use that player as a blue chip prospect to make a trade and grab a forward. Like there's so many things that could happen, but because Bill Armstrong has selected a lot of towering defensemen, he is on the board. Again, I'm another Mammoth man. This guy's all about the defensive zone, just like how Deyo was about the offensive zone. Maturka is all about the defensive zone. High defensive IQ. He's got a lot of poise and confidence with the puck. He's mobile. He's agile. He could walk the blue line in the offensive zone. In the defensive side, he closes gaps, uses his long reach. He's so good defensively. He could join the rush too as well, being that sort of trailing open man. Some negatives is he doesn't have that high-end offense to be a top 5 draft pick. His physicality, it's not his first, he doesn't initiate with contact. He sort of initiates with his stick first. And we've heard that with other Utah prospects like Simashev and the other defensemen I mentioned, where when I read blurbs about them, they say he uses his stick first. We want our defensemen to engage physically first. So I'm sure they could teach him that as well. Even though these players have negatives, you could always teach them and make them better players. If a player drafted is sort of weak in his two-way game and defensive game, we got a great coach in Andre Tourney who teaches 5-on-5 defense first. We've seen that with Gunther, Cooley, Hayden, and Clayton Keller. And another negative is his shot. It's not a booming, threatening, high offensive shot. So these are the 6 players. For me, I think I would go with Martone. He's almost like McQueen, but just a little bit safer. I'm more of a risk-averse person, so I would go with Martone. I wouldn't go with that high risk of McQueen with that injury history. But for me, I think Utah Mammoth should pick Martone. He would be just a great addition to the team, a great second-line winger, just to complement whoever his other winger is, Gunther, or just pair him with Hayden. Maybe he's paired with other, like Doan or a free agent pick. Just you could build around having a battler, a winner, a gamer, just this tenacious big body guy who's just a bull in a china shop type of winger. They don't really have that right now. Like Doan should be that, but I feel like Martone has that more winner, battler, gamer, do everything it takes mentality more than Doan. And in the top line of Keller, Cooley, top 6 of Gunther, Schmaltz, Hayden, no one has that McKinnon type of presence or that Kachuk type of presence. That's sort of missing from the top 6, and you can add that in with Martone. But again, you got Iginla and Baudouin who fill those categories down in the juniors, so they might pick someone else because they already have those players. So anything could happen with Bill Armstrong. This guy loves to go off the board, but I just know they're going to make the right pick and the pick they love. They also say publicly, every GM is going to say, we'll pick the best player available. So if someone picks Hagens as second pick and then Misa is on the board, maybe Utah picks Misa because it is the best available player. But knowing Bill Armstrong, I think he'll go with the player he wants rather than the player that people expect him to pick. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.